Hey everybody, this is a supplementary lesson for anyone who's a private student of mine, but I'm putting it up on YouTube for anyone else who might find it useful. So here we go. We're starting out with an idea that I found really difficult when I first started playing a long time ago, and that's the idea of taking a simple chord progression. And it would always stump me when I would hear this in playing. We take a simple chord progression and then we add a little lick, a little fill in the middle of it, few little notes, a little bit of a lead thing, little lead playing thing in it. And I had a really hard time figuring that out when I was coming up in my playing. So I wanted to break down a simple idea for you. Here we're going to take a chord progression, simple chord progression in the key of A. Okay, in the key of A major, and the three chords that we're going to use, pretty basic stuff. We're going to use an A major. That's where we take our first finger. We're going to put it down across string 4, 3, and 2 at the second fret. I'm going to be doing it in sort of a bar chord shape like this. I'm going to be squishing down with my first finger, and we want to include that open A. So the notes we want for that A chord are, okay, and to avoid getting that second fret on string 1, I just choke up on that chord a little bit. I go for a bit of a chokehold, and then I let my knuckle here lift up a tiny bit, and then I don't get anything, that note on the first string that I don't really want. Okay, so that's our first chord, that A. Okay, our second chord we're going to go for partners with A all the time. We'll find this all the time in different kinds of songs. Is a D. That is second fret on string 3, third fret on string 2, second fret on string 1, and we strum that guy from the D string, string number 4. There we go, pretty basic stuff. Third chord we're going to use is E. We go for this basic E minor shape, okay, second fret on string 5, second fret on string 4, first fret on string 3, that makes it major. We stand it up, we get all 6 strings to ring, okay, from this guy. Okay, so those are our 3 chords. Now, the basic strumming pattern that we're going to use without the little noodly playing in it, without the lead lick that we're going to be throwing in, is this. We're going to be strumming the chord once, and then cutting it off. We're going to be muting it, and I just do that by taking this inside part of my palm, putting it down on the strings, squish that chord down. Okay, you'll notice that when I do that, I put my pick right back in position. I throw it back in position to play the same chord again. Okay, so I go strum, rest, shut that chord off, my pick goes back in, and I strum the chord again right from that closed position. I just strum my hand right off the strings. Okay, so I've got this now. There's my basic strum. Same thing on D. Back to A. And E. Okay, so that's the basic chord stuff. Now, if we're going to throw a little lick in there, we're going to throw it in after that second strum. Now, how do I know what notes to use for that little lick? It's actually pretty simple. We need to know what key we're playing in. We're playing in the key of A, and all that means is that that A chord is the boss chord. Okay, it's the boss of the other chords. The whole song is going to start on that chord, and it's going to finish on that chord. We want to use a group of notes that fit in with the key of A, just like those chords. So the scale that we're going to use, the notes that we're going to use come from a very basic little scale. They come from our A pentatonic scale. And the notes for that are open A, second fret on the A string, fourth fret on the A string, step the first finger straight back onto the D string, second fret, same string, fourth fret with your third finger, one more note, step back to that A note, second fret on the G string. Okay, so all together there I have one more time, we've got open A, second fret, fourth fret, step back, second fret, fourth fret, step back again, second fret. Pretty cool little scale. Okay, we can do tons of different things with that. In this case, you'll notice in the thing that we're playing, I'm not using all those notes. You don't have to use all the notes. You could just use a few notes to make something cool. So the notes that I picked out, second fret on the D string, fourth fret on the D string, coming up to second fret on the G string, and then just right back to that third finger. That's the lick. Okay, if you want to play it with me. Pretty easy. I'm down picking everything there. Nothing fancy. Okay? Now where do we put it in? How do we fit it in with the timing? We grab that A chord, strum, shut it off. That's the rest. Strum again. Here's where we fit it in. Look, the first finger's already there. First finger steps out. We're ready again for that strum. Okay, that was it. Twice on A. Now, I guess we could do more on A. Okay. From here, last note of that lick, I want to change chords. So from here, I change to my D chord. Same strumming. I'm going to do the same lick. Jump back to that D chord. Okay. From here, I want to go back to A. Last note of the lick was this. I go back to A. Strum. Mute. Strum. New chord is E. Last note of that lick. I can actually just drag this finger down. I don't even have to pick him up. I'll drag him down to the second fret. Add this dude here. First finger on third string. And then you can repeat. Keep going around and around if you want to. Okay, so that's one way. There's a million different ways of doing this, okay? This is just one thing that you can do. It makes the chords a little bit fun. It's not any particular song, it's just a thing I just kind of randomly came up with. It's pretty basic stuff, but that's how we can make those chords a little bit more interesting. You can sound a little more polished, a little more pro in your playing if you can throw some of those little licks in there. And then once you get that down, you know, then you can start messing around with it. You can get that 2.0 version happening, right? Where maybe we play. Right, what am I doing there? I'm just filling in more notes. I'm playing faster on that lick so I can put more notes in. I'm doing a hammer-on. I think most of you know what hammer-ons are. If you don't, you can look it up, but it's really just thumping that first finger, taking that first finger, that lower note, and then we make that higher note happen by thumping that higher numbered finger down. And we step back to the third string, and I've got a little hammer-on pull-off there, a little trill. I thump that third finger down and pluck it down on a way to get that note to ring again. So with one pick stroke, I get 3 notes. I step back around to this guy, and instead of that being our last note now, we've got time to come up and grab him again. That's that kind of sped up. You can mess around with the notes in that scale any way that you want to come up with little licks that you like. Again, the scale is... Okay? Until next time, see ya!